Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chess Quiz. Today we are at the next topic, that is concluding the attack, and today I have got a slightly different kind of position. We are at the conclusive phase, that is where the combination happens. So it's going to end with a mating idea or a pattern, but not like the famous typical patterns like Greco's mate, Boden's mate, Morphy's mate and so on. It will be a typical attack on the king side, pattern based, although both positions are not very difficult. So I have got two positions, that's why. Let's get started with this one. It was black to play, as I said, and black is trying to finish off the game over the king side, of course. The white king lacks space. Both rooks and queen are close to the king. The knight is eyeing the f3 square, but f3 is very well guarded. Black sees that the move rook h3, see, very obvious one. Black must have thought of this before only, when he must have got his queen to g3. But the main hurdle is after rook h3 there is the move knight f1, which many people fail to see. They just play rook h3, and after knight f1 it looks difficult what black will do, because the queen has to move, then the rook has to be still guarded, right? So queen has to move on the g5 only. So after say rook h3, you can see that knight f1, if queen g5, then white has f4, trying to deflect this queen when this rook would hang. So this position is gone. Okay. So after rook h3 and f1, black had to calculate properly. Here a typical king side pattern comes into play. So there is the move, see, rook h1 check, forcing king takes h1, and now see, firstly we vacated this square, and now see rook h5 check, forcing the king back to g1, and see queen moves to h4. Look at the situation there. The king has no place, and if g pawn moves to g3 or g4, qh1 mates. But white has one defense. Let's see. Rook h1, king takes h1, rook h5, kg1, qh4. Only seeing this much is not enough. White has the move ng3, guarding h1, and the king is about to escape. So let's say queen takes g3, then king would just escape from either f1, or now he can play rook f1 and make the f2 square available. But black had calculated this beforehand, and he saw that after qh2 is able to use the typical back rank like pattern here, but the previous moves were very much different. So see, king f1 forced, qh1, knight takes h1 and rook h1, and it's a checkmate. So after qh2 check, white resigned in the game. So let's move on to the next position. Again, as I said, it's black to play. Pattern here is totally different. Black's pieces are not looking that dangerous, but it should be noted that there are some very important squares which are under black's control. Main reason for black being able to make a combination here is there are no defenders near the king, especially the squares which black is aiming to attack. See, the knight eyes f3 and the e2 squares, rook is able to shift to h5, bishop eyes h3, and queen can very well use the g5. Many are able to spot the line knight f3 check instantly. It's not very difficult, because after knight f3, if gf3, then rook g5 check, and then queen f3 is mating. See, knight f3, g takes f3, rook g5 check, if qg4, then bg4 wins, and after king h1, see, queen f3 checkmate. So what happens is, many players just see nf3 and conclude that black is winning. But see, always whenever we are trying to sacrifice, the opponent also has something in mind. If we are giving, he may not take, right? That should be the first assumption. So after nf3 check, king h1, it's not very easy to prove the point, although definitely we can say black should be winning. See, there are 3 attackers and no defenders over there. Black has to calculate a bit beforehand. Point is that after knight f3, king h1, see, there is rook h5 attacking h2. White is compelled to play h3, otherwise rh2 mates. gf3 would lose to queen f3 check, and after h3 comes bishop takes h3. It looks like black should win very easily, but he has to see little more. Let's play and see. nf3, king h1, rook h5, h3 forced, as I said, gf loses to queen f3, king g1, rook g5 once again. And after h3, the point is bishop takes h3, g takes h3, and here not rook h3. Rook h3 allows kg2, Of course, black might win over there as well, but there we can see that the rook is hanging, and after rook h2 there is the move kg3. So black has a much stronger move here. See, this pattern is worth noting. The move is queen e6. Whenever see h3 is weakened this way, there are no supports, we would like to take it with the queen. Although no book will consider this as a typical pattern, but like this I have seen many positions where these things happen. So for me, I would say that this is like a typical pattern. And after see kg2, which is perhaps forced, then queen h3 mates. At best, white can play bishop f5, queen f5. Since we see that qg4 is of no help, both rook h3 and queen takes g4 win instantly. So this is the position where white chose to resign over here. Both the positions had different patterns and they were not very difficult in nature. Do let me know how you are finding these lessons and the format. Thanks for your time.